Okay, let's just dive right into this explainer. Look, you already know the basics of AI. You know what generative AI is, you've probably nailed down how to write a killer prompt, and you can definitely spot a deepfake from a mile away. So, what exactly comes next? Welcome to the AI Intermediate for Teens course Introduction. Today we're unpacking a curriculum that's built specifically for those of you who are totally ready to graduate from just playing around with AI tools to actually understanding their profound impact on your life.
Because the real paradigm shift here, it's moving away from the basic mechanics and asking yourself a much more crucial question. Are you driving or are you just drifting? See, the biggest danger moving forward isn't that you lack technical knowledge. It's the danger of just cruising through your daily life without making deliberate, conscious choices about what AI is actively doing to your brain, your education, and your future career. This course is all about grabbing that steering wheel back.
So here is our roadmap. We're going to hit 6 key topics: the next step in AI, AI school in your brain, how machines learn, bias, fairness and data, your AI future, and finally how the course works. Basically, we're tackling 2 main areas today: the deeply personal side of AI and you, and the underlying technical side of exactly how it works. All right, let's start with section 1, the next step in AI, moving beyond the basics.
Which brings us to section 2, AI, school, and your brain. The messy cheating line.
And when we talk about the personal stakes here, we really have to ask some tough, kind of messy questions. Like, when does using AI actually help you learn, and when is it just replacing the learning entirely? We literally have to ask these questions right now because of this one wild statistic. 84% of high school students are currently using AI for their schoolwork. Meanwhile, the uncomfortable truth is that most schools and teachers haven't even figured out their official policies yet. You are operating in the Wild West right now, which means you've got to be your own guide.
So, to navigate this Wild West, we look at 2 vital frameworks. The first is the ownership test. Think about it like this. If you use AI to help write an essay or solve a math problem, can you still explain the core concept without having the AI open in front of you? Because if you can't, you don't actually own that knowledge. The second is the intent test. Are you using the tool to actively build a skill, or are you just using it to completely avoid learning one?
And this leads directly into something super fascinating about brain development. Your brain is physically forming these permanent neural pathways until you're about 25 years old. And here's the catch. Those pathways are built based on what you actually do, not what you just watch an AI do for you. This brings up a crucial concept called cognitive offloading. When we rely entirely on external systems, it literally changes our brains physically. I found this absolutely wild, but studies actually show that heavy GPS users develop physically smaller spatial memory regions in their brains. This is a massive hidden risk when you start overusing AI.
But on the flip side of that, we have this amazing scientific concept called desirable difficulty. It's the idea that struggling through a tough problem isn't just some annoying roadblock. That struggle is the actual mechanism for learning. The struggle is the learning. Once you realize that, doing the hard thing yourself becomes a scientifically proven advantage. And honestly, as AI gets better and better at doing the easy stuff, the distinctly human skills that you forge through desirable difficulty, they are going to become exponentially more valuable.
Moving on to section 3, how machines really learn, the technical foundation.
Now, to really grasp the personal impact we just talked about, you've got to understand the technical layer running underneath it all. You need to get how training data works, how pattern detection operates, and how AI makes predictions using confidence scores instead of absolute certainties. A perfect example of this is something called overfitting. This is what happens when an AI basically just memorizes its training data, instead of actually learning to generalize the patterns. Once you understand overfitting, it suddenly makes total sense why an AI can be so confidently wrong about things. It's proof that the old saying garbage in, garbage out is incredibly real, and that just throwing massive amounts of data at a problem doesn't automatically fix a thing.
Let's look at section 4, bias, fairness, and data, the real-world impact.
We're going to see exactly how this technical foundation translates into real-world consequences. Because right now, AI systems are making massive decisions about hiring, policing, healthcare, and loan approvals. And these systems, they are absolutely not neutral. The harsh reality is that historical bias gets deeply encoded right into the training data. And fairness isn't just some simple math equation you can solve. It has multiple, competing definitions, with real-world trade-offs that simply can't all be satisfied at the same time. People sometimes think, oh, let's just remove race from the data. But simplistic solutions like that completely fail to solve the underlying systemic issues the AI has already absorbed.
And hey, it's not just these big societal systems, it's your personal data too.
Literally every tap, scroll, and search you make feeds an AI that is building a highly accurate model of you, just to optimize your engagement. In the course, you learn the mechanics behind these recommendation algorithms and how to spot invisible data collection. The goal is to empower you to make informed privacy trade-offs, instead of just feeling completely paranoid about your devices all the time.
All right, Section 5, your future AI career, the changing job market.
Now we're shifting to the macroeconomic stakes. The question isn't whether AI is going to affect your future career. That is already decided. The real question is how you are going to position yourself for this massive shift. Because honestly, here is a startling reality check. For young workers between 22 and 25, entry-level knowledge work employment has already dropped by 13 to 16% since 2022. The landscape is fundamentally different today than it was just a few short years ago.
But don't panic, because immediately countering that drop, take a look at this number, 170 million. That is the estimated number of brand new jobs being created globally thanks to the AI boom. Sure, it creates an incredible whiplash effect, but it also highlights a massive, unprecedented opportunity if you know exactly where to look.
It turns out that building a unique portfolio of work is consistently beating out traditional credentials these days. This course is going to reveal which skills actually matter right now and how you as a teen can start building your competitive edge today, way before you even hit the job market.
Which brings us to Section 6, How the Course Works, Conversations with Ari.
So, you might be wondering how you actually learn all of this stuff. Well, instead of just clicking through a bunch of boring videos, you're going to tackle these complex, answerless topics through an adaptive learning system, and it's driven by direct conversations with an AI named Ari. Now, Ari is not a search engine. Ari isn't just going to hand you simple answers to these incredibly complex ethical questions. Instead, Ari presents scenarios where the right answer isn't obvious at all. Ari is going to ask you to defend your positions and actively push back when your reasoning has gaps. The system constantly adjusts to address your specific misconceptions, which ensures you actually build real critical judgment skills.
This intermediate step perfectly bridges the gap in the learning path. Once you've got the basics down, you learn the impact on you right here. And that sets you up perfectly for Step 3, AI Agents Fundamentals, which covers the incredible future of autonomous, multi-step reasoning AI.
All of this leaves us with one final, absolutely vital question. As this technology fundamentally reshapes the world around you, will you be on the creating side or the displaced side? The choices you make about your AI usage over the next few years are going to have compound effects that will last for decades. It is time to become the person who uses AI deliberately, instead of being used by it. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I highly encourage you to take that next step.